Hello, friends. Today, I want to talk about something very simple but very interesting in modern gaming. How roguelites feel like multiplayer matches, even though they are completely single player games. This comparison might sound strange at first, but once you break it down, it becomes very clear. Roguelites use a mix of randomness, repetition, and metacurrency in such a smart way that every run feels like a new match, and every death feels like a soft reset of a round instead of a punishment. They reuse the same idea that keeps people playing competitive games for years, but they adapt it to a single player space where the only opponent is your own skill, your own learning, and the chaos of the game world. In a multiplayer match, you always start from zero. No matter how high your rank is or how many hours you have played, every new round begins with a basic loadout, a starting position, and the same rules as everyone else. Roguelites follow the same format. When you start a new run, you begin with minimal gear, low stats, and only the most basic tools. It doesn't matter if you died 5 minutes ago or 5 hours ago, each new run is a fresh match. This immediately changes how the game feels. You can't rely on long-term power. You can't carry everything forward. You have to play with what you get in the moment. This is why every run is unpredictable, exciting, and full of small decisions that keep the whole experience alive. Another way roguelites copy multiplayer matches is through variety. In multiplayer games, the variation comes from other players. Sometimes you face aggressive players, sometimes defensive ones. Sometimes the match is chaotic, sometimes slow. Because the opponents are human, no two rounds feel the same. Roguelites do this without humans. They use procedural generation to shift room layouts, enemy placements, and item drops. Even though the logic is controlled by the game, it imitates the surprise you feel when fighting different players. A room you cleared easily yesterday might trap you today. A weapon that carried you in one run might never show up again. This dynamic variation gives roguelites the same sense of anything can happen that keeps multiplayer games fresh. But the real heart of the roguelite experience is metacurrency. This is the glue that connects all the runs into one long journey. When you die in a multiplayer match, you don't lose your account progress. Your rank stays, your skins stay, your unlocked abilities stay. You only lose the match, not your long-term growth. Roguelites use metacurrency to do exactly this. When you finish a run, even if you die early, you collect some form of currency that you can use to upgrade your character permanently. This might unlock new weapons, new skill trees, new items, or simply increase your base stats. This makes every run meaningful. Even a bad run feels worth it because you got something out of it. This system creates a very powerful loop. In the run itself, you depend on randomness and quick decisions, which makes it feel like a fast, competitive match. But outside the run, in the meta layer, you are always getting stronger. You feel like you have a long-term plan, something to look forward to, like something to slowly build toward. No matter how unstable the gameplay feels, the progression outside the run is steady and stable. This mix of chaos and structure is why roguelites feel good even when you die over and over again. This also changes how the player grows. In most action games, you learn the set patterns, practice the levels, and get better by memorizing everything. Roguelites don't work like that. Because the layout changes every time, you cannot memorize the game. You can only learn how to play better. You learn enemy behavior, timing, spacing, and movement. You learn how different items combine. You learn how to manage the unexpected. This is the same kind of learning that players experience in multiplayer games. You become better not by remembering content, but by improving as a player. Each run teaches you something new, and this knowledge carries forward. Another interesting aspect is how roguelites shape your playstyle. In multiplayer games, everyone eventually develops their own way of playing. Some players like to rush, others like to play slow, some prefer aggressive builds, others defensive ones. Roguelites do the same. As you unlock new items and upgrades through metacurrency, you begin to form preferences. You start noticing which weapons match your reactions, which bonuses help your instincts, and which playstyle suits your rhythm. Over time, your runs start to reflect your personality. This makes the game feel more personal and more connected to how you think. Finally, roguelites are able to stay fresh for a very long time because no two runs are the same. Just like no two multiplayer matches are the same. It doesn't matter if you have played 20 hours or 200 hours. The game always has a new combination waiting for you.
A gift.
This is why people keep returning to them. Every run is a new story. Every run has its own flow. Sometimes everything goes right and you feel unstoppable. Sometimes everything goes wrong and you laugh at the chaos. These small stories, these memorable moments, are what make roguelites feel alive. In the end, roguelites succeed because they bring the appeal of multiplayer matches into a single-player setting. They use randomness to create tension, metacurrency to create long-term growth, and repetition to create mastery. They let you fail without making you feel bad. They let you grow without making the game boring. And they turn every run into a unique experience that feels fair, fresh, and full of possibility.
A chthonic key. This can unlock something back home. Phew. Well, this is awkward.
Paul's son,
Come on, Mick.
your father's son,
I'll have to go.
a man after. Come closer, Zacharias.